We are back for redemption. And back for vengeance. The Revenge Tour, Part 2. It's a little early, but it must be done. Welcome back to Squeeze the Juice, where we got some beef with ourselves. We're dressed in all black today, or I'm close enough with my jacket. For the sad first 2 weeks we've had here. Evan, how are we today? You have the floor.
We are coming in with a different mindset. We are locked in. We had to reevaluate this entire week. I have no words for what I put on display last weekend. But the buck stops here. Things are about to change, and they're about to go down heavy and hard. Because let me tell you something. What I did for the listeners last week was nothing short of criminal. There is no chance in hell that I will go 1-6 ever again. So help me God. This is a totally different attitude. College basketball has completely torn me a new one. Whereas college football, I was dynamite. I was on the money. Nothing was stopping me. Laser focused, sharp, precision. That is what we go into this episode with today. There is nothing but laser sharp precision. Nothing will stop me. I am guaranteeing positivity this week. I'm dressed in all black because you know what? LeBron James, he dressed in all black when he was attacking Kareem's record, and he got it that night. Tonight, I will be doing the same thing. I will be back in business after this episode. You can bet on that. Let's go. Recap starts now. All right, so last week I was 1-6 in college basketball, like I just said, but 1-1 in the NBA. All right, so whatever. Justin was 4-5 last week, 3-4 in college, 1-1 in the NBA. So Justin now 6-8 college, 1-1 NBA. I am 3-11 in college, 1-1 NBA. So we are not vibing. We're not vibing with that at all. Let's first start off with one of the worst bad beats of all time. Michigan State, Iowa, MSU up by 13 in the late second half, minute 30 left. Mm-hmm. They choke it. We go to overtime, and then Iowa wins by 6. So we can't even get the cover, let alone an MSU win. We can't even get the cover. MSU plus 4.5. That's a loser. TCU, Texas Tech, a heartbreaking loss for Texas Tech. They are literally one of those bubble teams. This one would have helped them out so much. They lose by 1 point. We were on Tech minus 2.5. That was another, I'm not going to say that was a bad beat, but
unfortunate.
It was heartbreaking for Texas Tech and unfortunate for us. Texas and Baylor, game 3. Texas was up by like 15 early on, and then it was all Baylor from there on out. Baylor winning 81-72. Me and Justin were both on Texas plus 2.5. Not great there. Kansas State, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is just, they're sorry. They're a sorry group of players, and I really appreciate Cowboy basketball. They've produced some great talent over the years, but God, guys, you have everything going in your favor, and then you just can't pull it down the stretch. They're up by like 5 or 6 in the second half, then just went cold. Kansas State, Justin was on his Wildcats. They win the game 73-68. I was on Oklahoma State, so minus 2.5 there. That was another dud. Arkansas, Alabama. Alabama up by 12 with about 4 minutes to go. And then Arkansas with an unreal push down the stretch. They almost get the game to overtime, but Bama wins 86-83. Me and Justin were both on Bama minus 8.5. That was another one where I said, of course, Bama is controlling the game. They're up. And then, what do you know? It ends up being a very close game, and Bama almost lost, but they won, so whatever. They didn't cover, though, so what? It was just one of those weekends. Virginia versus UNC. This was my only win. UNC, the Tar Heels, coming through when they needed it most. 71-63. Their first Quad 1 win of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Me and Justin were both on the Tar Heels. minus 1.5. That was the easiest one. It was was my only win. That was the easiest one. They were dominating the whole game. And then in the nightcap, Indiana-Purdue. Purdue, they were up by, I believe, 4 or 6 at the half. And then, I don't know what happened. Indiana just took control.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? Plus 7.5. Indiana's my daddy. So...
Thumbnail worked real well
So
after that fact.
Yes. So, and me holding the basketball looking like I'm...
With Purdue on it. Did you see I put the
Yeah,
Boilermaker?
Yep, tears are falling down my face. They're falling onto the basketball with the Purdue logo on it. So that's college basketball. And then on to the NBA. We only had 2 picks for you there.
Ugh.
Raptors, Pistons. Pistons plus 6.5. That was a dub. That was a close game all the way through. Pistons 95 or Raptors 95-91. And then Pacers, Magic. Pacers, that was a close game for most of the game, but then the Pacers just took control. Magic minus 3.5 was not a winner. Me and Justin were both on that one, and that was unfortunate. Pacers winning by 13 points. So, once again, I'm 3-11 in college basketball. Justin's 6-8. We're both 1-1 in the NBA. We are coming into this episode and into this Sunday slate of games with vengeance. Vengeance will be ours. Vengeance will be mine. I'm sick of it. Justin, any lasting thoughts from last weekend?
I'm upset by that Michigan State game still,
Yeah, me too.
but I'm thankful that I can't ever doubt my Wildcats. Because then they just get it done. They get it done. 3 weeks in a row.
Well, with that, let's...
Also, little change before we get into it. Little change up. Big storm. That's why it's coming out today on Sunday. So, little late delay, but
Yes.
we're not letting you miss an episode.
Yes, we're sad to see the Saturday slate of games, being uncovered by us. But, sometimes that's life. Weather was horrible. We're in Michigan. You get that sometimes. And it just didn't make sense for the, sanctity of safety. So
Absolutely.
we're here on Saturday now, recording for you on what will be a beautiful Sunday.
Yes.
And we still got some great games. Some would say even better games. So
Yeah, you could argue.
So
That Kansas game, though, yesterday, or today, actually.
yeah, Texas pulled through.
By like 16.
Of course, right?
Kansas gets that close win last week, and then they just fumbled the bag.
Every time we bet against Kansas, they win, and then when we bet with Kansas, not that we did, but we bet with Kansas, they're gonna win or they're gonna lose. That's just how it goes. Some teams I'm just staying away from now on. Texas, by the way, that was our pick last week. They lose to Baylor, now they're beating Kansas. That's awesome.
We definitely would have picked Kansas, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
After that, literally. They'd be like, okay, they survived that one, but they have the momentum. They're not coming off a loss.
Yep. Whatever.
Rejuice. Maybe that's what we needed. Rejuice, revitalize. No Saturday games this week. Sunday, focus.
Yes, I agree. All right, so on to our Sunday slate of games. I got 3 this week because I feel like I was giving you guys way too many picks. We're going to be sharp this week. That's the main focus, is being sharp, being precise, and being selective. So I have 3 college games. First one, Houston at Memphis. Memphis plus 5.5. This is a scary number, right? We talk about it a lot in football. 5.5 points. That is a number that typically raises your eyebrows. You get concerned. Look, Houston has been a monolith all season long. You look at what they've been able to do and just how analytically they're rated. I mean, Ken Pom, which is a very, that's like the Bible of college basketball ratings. Ken Pom has them as the number 1 team, adjusted offense 4, adjusted defense 8. This is clearly one of those teams that just you don't really mess with. Like, they're just that good. But this number at 5.5 is interesting. It feels like a little small, and I know Memphis is pretty good. They got Penny Hardaway as the coach.
They score more points per game. They have a better field goal percentage overall. more assists, more steals. Memphis really got it going on.
Well, the thing is, Houston just as a team this season, they're just so complete, really. I mean, you have Joris Walker, you have Sasser. I'm missing another name, but they're just a complete team that they should easily be, if not the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament, they'll probably be the number 2 overall seed.
Jamal Sheed or Jawan
Yep.
Roberts.
Yep, Sheed is a beast too. So they got a lot of great guys. I'm not too concerned with Houston in this game. I think they'll win. And on the road this season, they're 7-3, covering the spread. But that number just really, like, it scares me a little bit. And Memphis, like you were saying, like, Memphis is a good squad. Like,
They only lost to Houston a couple weeks ago. They are by 8 points in Houston.
and yeah, that was at Houston. So, I mean, does Memphis basketball have Houston's number? I mean, they already lost, but like, could they have their number in this game, or could they keep it close?
For both teams in their last 5, because they're in the same conference, both Memphis have won 4 of their last 5, and Houston's won 5 of their last 5. And their only loss that Memphis has is that 8-point loss to Houston at Houston.
That's influential right there. Like, give me a lot of good stuff here. Oh, you make the pick first because I'm I need you to.
I need to look at one slight thing before I do anything at all. Where are we at? Nope. Bama by 6 at home.
We're in the thought process right now. Justin is deep in his thought bubble. I'm leaning one way if you need me to support. Not that my picks have been any guiding light, but
Houston has lost 2 games this season. They lost by 6 at home to Alabama, and they lost. What was the other one? They lost at home by 1 to unranked Temple. What in the world?
they've been on a roll, though. They've won, I believe, 10 in a row.
It's tough, though, because Houston, they're on a roll. Okay. Who are they playing? Central Florida? Cincinnati?
I mean, these are all the
Tulsa.
same teams Memphis is playing.
I know, but like I'm just like thinking overall. I'm like, and I think my mind's like locking in. I'm like, how good is Houston truly?
I think they're legit.
You think they're legit?
I mean, yeah, I think so. But I think Memphis is really good too. Like, look at what Memphis has been able to do this season. They're 23-7. They have 2 studs in Kendrick Davis and DeAndre Williams. Both of them averaging over 15 points a game. Davis averaging 21, Williams averaging 17. I mean, they're a really good team. And Penny Hardaway, like, this is not the same Memphis team that's been driven by, one and done talent. Like, they have some legitimate ball players that are capable of
That's why they're 23-7.
of making a deep run into the postseason. Like, Memphis is a good basketball team. So that's why I'm going to take them plus 5.5 here. I think that's a weird number. I think I'm getting a Houston team while being undefeated on the road, straight up, and 7-3 against the spread. I think we in a Houston team that, it's senior day, it's the last game of the regular season. They don't really need to do much more to solidify their tournament stance. I think Memphis, if they can pull off a win here, that's massive. That'll definitely boost them in the tournament. But I'm going to take Memphis to cover the spread here. I like Houston to win, but Memphis plus 5.5, that number just doesn't sit right with me. So I'm going to take Memphis here to cover that spread. And like I said, I am not the beacon of hope here. My picks have been absolutely horrendous. I'm 3-11. I want to reiterate, I am 3-11. So do not come to me acting like I'm some saint and some savant. I am not. I am horrible right now. I might be ice cold. You might want to fade me for all you want to do because these picks have been horrible. But different mindset, different attitude. Memphis plus 5.5.
I respect your thoughts.
I appreciate it.
I already see this game being played out.
Here we go.
And for that fact, I'm taking Houston.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. Honestly, like,
Do you want to know why?
tell me why. I want to know. I want to know right now.
Because you're going to get shit. This is going to be a great game. Back and forth. Little bit into the second. Memphis pulls away. 6 or 7. Houston locks in. Comes back and wins it.
Don't do me like that, please.
That is exactly how it's going to be. Memphis is going to think they have it the whole time, and then it's going to be another situation.
All right.
It's going to be a situation where Memphis is up like in the past weeks. The teams we want are in the past weeks, and the other team is going to come back and take it. So I'm taking Houston.
All right. Well, that just made me sad, but whatever. It's fine. It's probably the right pick. I'm not.
Already, little dude's locked in. Now he's down himself.
No, I'm locked in. I'm all in.
You're
on
gonna take
Memphis.
over. You're gonna take over the NBA now, while I take over college. We're gonna switcheroo here.
I'd love to. Although honestly, I bounced back in the NFL. Like I was cold and then I bounced back. So maybe that's gonna be me in college basketball. I'm just gonna.
You need the
rattle
madness
off.
to hit, man.
Yeah, I need madness to hit. Please, please. All right, game 2, Maryland versus Penn State. If you know anything about Maryland basketball, they are unstoppable at home and they are horrible on the road. Penn State absolutely needs this win to get into the NCAA tournament, honestly. They're right there with Michigan, who we're going to talk about in a minute here. They're right there with Michigan. Penn State, big win, I believe, against... Oh, my God. Who did they just beat? Sorry, this is terrible.
Who do we
This
get?
is terrible.
What team? Who did Penn State just beat?
They beat Northwestern. That's who it was. That was a massive win because Northwestern is basically locked in at this point. Northwestern's had a really good year, but Penn State beating them helped out their chances. Now they get Maryland, who is ranked. They get Maryland, who just a few weeks ago beat Purdue. This is a good Maryland team. The issue, they do not show up on the road. They are actually horrible on the road. If you want the stats, I mean, I can give them to you, but trust me, you're not going to like them.
I already know.
You want to hear them?
Go ahead.
All right. Maryland on the road against the spread. It's embarrassing. 3-7. 3-7. That's pretty brutal. But then let's go straight up.
1911.
On the road. What? No, that's not true. I'm so sorry. Here we go.
He's got a reboot.
I got to reboot. Maryland on the road. An abysmal 2-8. 2-8 on the road. They do not show up on the road. You just take Penn State. Penn State's -1.5 here. They need this win. Senior night. And, I mean, Penn State, look, they're a scrappy group. They've kind of, as a MSU fan, is watching Big Ten basketball like I do. They're scrappy, they claw, they fight. And Jalen Pickett, he's a, Big Ten all-first team kind of guy. He's a talented guard for Penn State. I like Penn State. -1.5. I think they get it done. I'm riding with the Nittany Lions, man. I think you just take them. I don't know. That's just how I'm feeling. You just take Penn State and you ride that anti-Maryland wave because they can't get it done at home. Your thoughts?
I feel like every time I speak, I stress you out.
You are stressing me out right now, but it's fine.
I did a little dig real quick while you were figuring your situation out. I only need to see 2 quick things, and I'm like, I already got my pick. Before you even started listing off those facts of the day on Maryland and whatnot, I was already locked in on my pick, and I'm taking the Nittany Lions with you.
Yes, yes.
I agree. The fair statement of that Maryland is bad on the road, and Penn State only lost by about, I believe, either 6 or 7 when they played at Maryland. And of course, like you said, Maryland's way better at home.
Tough place to play.
Offensively on averages for points per game and field goal percentage, Penn State beats Maryland time and time again. And I'm riding the Nittany Lions with you, my friend. I hope that makes you happy.
That makes me very happy, and I appreciate it. I do. On to Game 3. The biggest game maybe of the Sunday slate here. Michigan heads to Assembly Hall to take on Indiana. You're a noted Wolverine fan, a Wolverine scumbag, some would say, a Wolverine slappy. Me being Sparty. Shout out, by the way, we're up in our studio game.
Each week it's changing.
Each week it's changing. I'm going to say,
You're going to go up to the... Oh, he's going to go right up to the camera. Make sure she's focused.
That right there. Rough Sparty. We got the mini helmets.
More to come.
We got more mini helmets coming.
But new backdrops coming.
We got so much in store for you. While we're in this kind of, I'm not going to call it off season, but like transition period maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We're just upping what we got. So
upgrades.
I got the Jeremy Grant bobblehead too. That's courtesy of Little Caesars Arena.
Yeah, get sponsored. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored by LCA, of course. Why would they ever sponsor? But
that'd be funny.
Jeremy Grant's there. We got more mini helmets on the way. I'm excited. Justin's excited. So that's just, a little precursor to what's going on. But Michigan, Indiana -4. What are your thoughts early on with this one? Because you are the Michigan guy.
But Michigan hasn't been my friend this season. They're not 17-3 is not horrible. It's not great the way that things have gone. Especially also when you want to be a top team, you normally want single-digit losses if you're really actually a top team. But I mean, you're talking about a 3-game difference between us and Indiana, potentially 2 if they won this game. I mean, Hunter Dickinson on a wing and a prayer and a weird-looking shot saved Michigan the other day.
The only reason why this game matters is because of that shot, really.
Michigan's 16-13-1 against the spread, while Indiana's 14-15-1.
And I don't want to cut you off here, but the spread actually did go down. It's now Indiana -3.5, if that changes your thoughts at all. First time these two teams played in Ann Arbor, Indiana with the 1-point win. That was on February 11th, so roughly a month ago.
It's -3.5.
That's a tight spread, and Indiana's at home. I mean, I think this is going to be a close game.
So do I, but how close is the question?
Oh, that's a great question. Because I could easily see this coming down to the last shot. That's just the way Michigan's been playing lately. It's hard because I almost don't want to pick Indiana. Because I feel like Michigan could win and they could get it done. Indiana is coming off a loss at home to Iowa, where they lost by 22 points, and that's following up their amazing 8-point win over Purdue. I mean, how about that? You beat Purdue on the road by 8, and then you lose at home to Iowa by 22 points? That's insane. So what Indiana team are we going to get? Because if we're getting the team against Purdue, Michigan has no chance. But if we get the Iowa team, Michigan could easily win this game.
And the week before that, they lost by 15 at MSU.
Yep.
And then they won by 3 against Illinois at home, and then they lost by 2 at Northwestern. They've been on a bipolar tear per se.
They play tight games. I mean, you look at all these like you were saying, lost by 22, win by 8, lost by 15, win by 3, lose by 2, win by 1, win by 6, win by 5.
Well, Michigan went 5-12-13, and then they went into overtime, then double overtime.
Right. I mean, the last time Indiana completely, blew out a team was January 20th against Ohio State, who was one of the worst teams in the conference. Indiana won by 16. That was their last double-digit win. So that's a month and a half ago at this point. So what are we doing here for, what are we really doing here for Indiana?
Oh, it's so hard not to pick Indiana in this moment.
I'm right there with you. I don't want to pick Indiana, but does Michigan just how much more left in the tank do they have after last weekend? Or I'm sorry, I guess after the last week, I should say. Overtime win against Wisconsin. double overtime loss against Illinois. You go back on the road to Indiana, Assembly Hall, senior night. That's a tough place to play, man. And on top of that, like, they just played too. Like, they just played. And now, I don't know, you go on the road and
2 days later, again.
Yeah, it's just like,
Back to almost where you just were.
it's tough, man. Like I don't want to rain on your parade, and of course I'd love to see Michigan.
You want me to state mine first?
Yeah, I mean, of course I want to see Michigan out of the tournament, but at the same time, like, I don't know, like, they're kind of fun to root against, like, when they're in the dance too, you know? It's like, I don't know. Say yours first.
I'm going with the Hoosiers.
You're going with the Hoosiers? That's not a bad pick.
Oh, you're
That's not a bad
questioning
pick
it.
at all, honestly. No, because Michigan is like, they're so annoying. Like, of course, like,
This would be the game that they just, we're going to win in the tourney, win like 3 games, get to the Sweet 16, and then kind of walk out and be like, okay, it wasn't even a bad season. That's
Yeah.
what you're like, that's what you're thinking right now.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
They win like and then they get into like the semifinals of like the Big Ten championship or the Big Ten tournament.
I don't know, man. This is tough. Like, I'm just trying to find some inspiration here from some source to just make this pick easier for me, and it's just not happening. It's just not.
I claim the Hoosiers.
Justin's on the Hoosiers. I mean, they worked for you last weekend.
Hoosier Daddy Part 2.
I feel like I can't. I don't know.
You're battling the dislike of Michigan, but also like the wanting to be on my be on my side too, but also picking the right team, but also
So much is going on, but yeah, you're right. I'm overthinking it. I just got to.
I look at a few clips.
Indiana's winning this game. They're knocking Michigan out of the tournament. Any thought of you being on the bubble pops tomorrow night. Indiana -3.5. Yep, I'm with you. Let's go. Hoosier Daddy. I'm buying in. I'm buying in. I'm all the way in. Hoosier Daddy. Indiana -3.5. All right, man. Those are our college basketball picks. How are we feeling this week about those picks? I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm feeling a little bit better.
I'm so laxed right now. I'm just chilling, man.
You're feeling good.
I look at some of the things that I think are important when I look because I go off my phone and I just look at the ESPN app and the comparisons and I look at all the quick statistics that it shows and I just compare and I'm like, what do I think is truly the versatile or like the factor that's going to change this game? And I lock it in, and then there it is.
All right. I love that. See, this was the one game I'm like down myself. I'm like, oh, I don't know, but no, Indiana -3.5.
It's definitely not a shock if Michigan can win this game because Indiana seems to play very bipolar, but
Right. No,
I mean, but I trust the Hoosiers in this one. Crazy enough. I don't have my Michigan helmet yet, so.
Well, on to the NBA. We got 3 games for you in the NBA.
I'm sorry. I'm slacking today.
No, it's okay.
I was so involved. Enjoy that college hoops, folks, because now we're on to the NBA.
For everyone listening, Justin did not adjust the TV monitor.
I was
But
so
that's
locked
okay.
in.
He was
on my
locked in.
picks.
Us we weren't even focused on what was going on back here because we were so dialed into our picks. Truly locked in. All right, so on to the NBA. We have 3 games for you this week. Being selective, being precise. I think I have better chances here in the NBA than I do in college basketball just because of what's been going down with me in college basketball. But first game on the slate, Suns-Mavs. Mavs -1. They are at home. 2 teams made massive moves at the deadline. Obviously, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. The 2 Brooklyn boys are now facing off against each other for the first time since being traded. Justin, what are your early thoughts on this one? Maybe even give us your pick. I don't know. Just
Just be like,
lay it on me.
It's an interesting duo of Kyrie and Luka. It's almost like they're the same person and they can work together, but how much can they really win together? Because you need there's a lot of factors that go into winning a championship. Like no one has truly just done it alone. Like, you can't just carry no one just carries a franchise, like, purely. I know there's been discussions like that guys have in the past, but no one's just straight up carried to a championship for the most part. You always have at least one other helping hand. But yeah, the Mavs acquiring Kyrie was an interesting factor. I don't know how much I liked it, but they can put up the points together. But when you're against, CP3 up front, Booker on the side, KD on the side. I know Ayton's supposed to be out, but still, like, they had, like, just those three alone. Like, you got to account for each one of those guys, and someone's going to be the third open option. So how do you take it down, I get it, it's in Dallas, but I have more faith. I have more faith in the Suns, but I don't know how I trust Luka not to just go nuts. Only because it's in Dallas. This would be a pure Phoenix lock no matter what it was, if it was in Phoenix to me. Ayton not being there, man. How much does it factor?
Ayton, has he been ruled out for the game?
He's day-to-day as of March 4th.
It's not too big of a concern for me because Dallas doesn't have a physical presence down low.
Because Burton's is out and Kleber or whatever he's also day-to-day.
And if you remember in the postseason last year when the Suns and Mavs played, Ayton's minutes went down because he physically couldn't be on the court because the way Dallas played, Ayton was just a non-factor because Dallas was playing small ball and Ayton was getting exposed on the perimeter. So
that's fair.
He ended up like barely playing in that in that series.
I need to double check once.
Well, here's where I'm at with this game. So
yeah, let me know where you're at.
I look at both of these teams, and I do think of them as, I'm not going to say 1 and 2 in the West, but I do think of them as like top 5 teams in the West. I think like Suns, Mavs, Nuggets. You got to put respect on the Warriors, and then probably, any combo of like the Grizzlies. Clippers probably. Clippers or Grizzlies probably is that 5th team for me right now. And when I look at the Suns specifically, that Chris Paul, KD, Booker trio, that's just insane. Like, that's just too much, I think, for Dallas. And Dallas doesn't really have, because of that Kyrie trade, they don't have that presence on the wing that can cover a guy like Kevin Durant.
Dinwiddie.
And I don't know. I just think I like Phoenix in this one. Dallas is 11-19-3 at home against the spread. Last weekend, Dallas was up by 27 against the Lakers. Another former opponent or another former teammate of Kyrie and LeBron James. Kyrie couldn't get it done against LeBron when he was up 27. I think Kyrie doesn't have better luck this time against Kevin Durant. I like the Suns to cover this one. The Suns, they were just 3.5-point favorites against the Bulls on Friday night, and I was looking at that spread, and I was like, that's weird. Like, 3.5 points. The Bulls have been a major disappointment this season. I feel like that should be a lot more. And what do you know? The Suns won by like 21. So I feel like this is one of those teams where Vegas is kind of telling you it's still early on in the KD, era in Phoenix. So we're not going to put too much stock into them yet. I think they win big. I think you're getting a good opportunity to take Phoenix here. And Kevin Durant, who wasn't on the team last year when they lost to Dallas in the playoffs, is on the team now. And I think they just will have a different mindset. Kevin Durant's going to want to win against Kyrie. Give me Phoenix on the road +1. I believe I have +1. Yeah, +1. Phoenix. That's easy enough.
The first game of the season, the matchup, Suns beat the Mavs in Phoenix by 2. The next 2 games, Mavs won. But completely different teams now in this matchup.
And the Mavs have not been great with Luka and Kyrie together.
They've had their
they're
one or
still
two
figuring
lucky
it out.
games. Yeah.
And that's the thing with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant can come in, and it's seamless. Like, he can fit with anyone's roster. Kyrie and Luka, it's going to take some time for them to figure each other out and how they're going to balance each other out. That's why you've seen them lose a massive lead like they did against the Lakers, because you just don't know. And
It's just
the
them
other
two.
night, I believe they're playing the Timberwolves. If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but it was... No, it might have been the Pacers, actually.
Sixers? Thursday they played the Sixers, and they won 133 to 126.
What about the game before?
Game before was the Pacers.
Pacers.
They lost by 2.
Yep, Kyrie took the last shot, and he missed it. And some would say Luka has probably earned that last shot in Dallas. So that right there, figuring out who's going to take what, how they're going to work together, when are they going to work together, it's just a lot of questions for me. And that's why I like Phoenix, because I don't think Kevin Durant forces those questions on you.
2, 3, 4. They were one. They were one of their last 6 in February,
Not great.
and it was against the Spurs. I'm with you, the Suns. KD is just the factor, man.
Suns, baby.
It'd be a different game if it was Book and CP3 versus Luka and Kyrie, but KD can just KD can drop 30
Yeah.
and just this game could be over.
I agree. All right, game 2, Pacers, Bulls.
Ooh,
I know, an interesting one,
I
right?
was not
Bulls
expecting that one.
minus 5.5. You know how I feel about that 5.5 point spread. Justin, take it away.
UGLY. What up with the Bulls? What up with the Bulls?
We're not
What-
talking about the Bulls. Like, the media is not talking about the Bulls enough because they've been massively underwhelming. And that's like a win now roster.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you move all the pieces, get everything you want, you keep Levine, right? And you just can't seem to get it right. Is Lonzo Ball that big a deal to this team?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he's a terrific defender, great
Passer,
passer.
facilitator.
Yeah, and he was improving his 3-point shot too. Give him credit where credit is due. Lonzo is probably a bigger loss than we want to
Admit.
accept. Yeah.
It's interesting. I was just mind blown. They're falling so fast, and it's like that's the one team. I was looking at when I start my work day, I'll look at the weather, and then I look at I start with NBA. Like I go through my sports and see what's going on in different rotations. I was looking at the standings, and I'm like, what are the 2 biggest odd factors team wise in each conference right now? Right now for the West, it's the Kings being 3rd in the West.
Kings like the beam. They're looking good.
The beam. And in the East, I'm like, it's the Bulls. The Bulls have fallen off so hard for no reason. They have the players. They have the team. They could at least be, they should be in the playoffs. Or just on the edge, or be the first team of the play-in tournament. They shouldn't be on the almost approaching being out of the play-in tournament. It shouldn't be like that. And I don't know what to say about them. Tyrese Halliburton and these boys are something else. They are something else. You got him. You got Hield when he's healthy. You got Turner. What else do we got? Who am I missing?
Benedict Mathurin.
Mathurin is the one who I was missing.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pacers just got a lot going on. Maybe they're not perfect every night, but they got so much future talent. It's crazy.
Yeah, we got into it last weekend when they were playing the Magic, and look, truth be told, I don't think many people thought the Pacers were going to be much this season, and not that they are, but 28 and 36, that's pretty impressive when no one was really giving you a shot. And while the record itself is still, if my math's correct here, bottom 6th,
Yeah.
when you juxtapose that with Chicago, who's just won one game more than them, with a much better, quote unquote talent, it's just kind of jarring when you think about it. And now they're getting 5.5 points. I almost want to pick the Pacers just because I like the Pacers as a group, and I think they're a fun team. But we did just kind of briefly touch on it. The Bulls did just lose by 21. Now they're giving 5.5. Like, do you think the Bulls just have some bounce back performance? I mean, that's a lot of points.
It's tough when they're playing. They hit a streak, right, of getting it together after trades. Brooklyn, right, and then you hit a stride of Wizards, Raptors, Pistons, and then before you have to play the Suns, right?
Right.
So it's like, how much talent are we truly like playing against? And then you play against Phoenix, who's just ready to smack everybody in the moment. It's hard. It's a hard comparison because I mean, the Pacers are coming off a loss to the Spurs. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then they win in Dallas and they win in Orlando after losing in overtime against Boston.
The Pacers, they're feisty, and it's weird because
And they already beat the Bulls.
yeah, it's weird because I'm looking at this. I'm looking at both these teams. I'm like, how are the Pacers weren't supposed to be good. Like they just weren't, and they're somehow right there with Chicago in terms of just record. And you're right, they did just beat the Bulls on February 15th. That was at home. Like that 5.5 point spread is weird to me. Like because these teams, it's kind of the same thing with the Magic last weekend though. Because I was like, the Magic. Like I think the Pacers are better than the Magic, but Magic are 3.5 point favorites. Like it just looks weird. This is the same deal. Oh, I don't know. Where's your thought process at with this one? Where's your head at? Because
I'm not thinking anymore.
I'm leaning Bulls just because like 5.5 just feels like that's just almost like it feels like Vegas is kind of telling you pick the Pacers, but I don't know. It's the science of it all, right? Because these teams are basically even. I mean, the Bulls probably have more talent, but
They're trying to drag you.
yeah, it's like one of those spreads where I'm just like, ugh.
When did the Pacers play last Thursday? What's the Spurs play last?
And they did just that is a bad loss too. That's a really bad loss. I mean, the Spurs are not great. Haliburton is day to day. Like if he doesn't play, like that pretty much wraps it up. No,
Bulls.
is Bulls the pick?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, even if Haliburton plays, I was kind of leaning Bulls because I think like the average NBA fan is going to be like, okay, these teams are basically like even. Like, why not take the Pacers plus 5.5? Like, Bulls just lost by 21 to the Suns. Like, they're not good. They just won by 2 against the Pistons. Like,
You're right.
yeah. All right, whatever. Bulls minus 5.5. Locked in. Last game of the slate for you guys. Warriors, Lakers, Lakers plus 5.
Whoa.
Steph Curry coming back for the Warriors, but it's only 5 points on the road. Justin, thoughts on this one?
You're going to throw that one at me. That's so funny. You picked the top 3 games of each of the slates, and I'm looking
Well, there's only 4 games on Sunday, and the last one, Hornets, Nets, that one just didn't sit right with me.
There's more games than that, but oh yeah, the spreads are out. Gotcha. Warriors, Lakers. I don't know how to feel about this one. We got anybody out? Curry's out. Iguodala's out. Wiggins is out.
No, Steph's coming back, and Iggy is probable.
LeBron's out though.
Yeah, LeBron is out.
And D'Angelo Russell's out. And Anthony Davis is day to day. No, this is a dumb statement. Warriors minus 5.5. No LeBron, no AD, no Russ.
If everyone's out, why is it only 5 points, though?
Why is Malik Beasley ain't gonna carry this dub?
If Steph's coming back and it's only and everyone's out for Lakers, why is it only 5 points?
Because they're on crack.
Then give me that crack. I'm taking Lakers plus 5.
Go ahead.
I have to take it. I have to. There's no reason why. You're right. If everyone's out for the Lakers and Steph's come back for the Warriors, why is the spread just 5 points? Like, that's just my only question. Because I agree. Like, any other day, I'm taking the Warriors. But this just stinks. This spread reeks.
All these spreads reek.
This one reeks. So that's why I'm going with the Lakers. Are you sticking with the Warriors?
Mm-hmm.
All right, easy enough. Don't need a Don't even need much more than
Coming
that.
off an 8-point loss to the Timberwolves at home, I think so.
The Lakers just did.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's that's fine. The Timberwolves are a good team. They're not great, but they've been without Cat for a good portion of the season, so they know how to play without him. The Lakers, they didn't have AD or D'Lo.
According to this, D'Lo and LeBron are out, and Anthony Davis is day-to-day, so they're probably missing all three.
This is not the time of the year to miss games. That's for sure.
Load management.
This is not the time of the year to miss games. I know LeBron has to, but yeah, I don't know. This spread just reeks. Everyone knows Steph's coming back. Everyone knows Iggy's got a good shot to play. I mean, you're going to get basically the full Warriors lineup, and you're not getting LeBron James. It should not be 5 points. Like, it should be probably Warriors minus 9.5.
They're teasing you.
They might be. I'm still going to take the Lakers, though. Lakers plus 5. All right, let's run it down here.
Run it.
College hoops. We got 3 games for you. Sunday edition. Houston versus Memphis. Memphis plus 5.5. I am on the Memphis Tigers. Justin's on the Houston Cougars. Maryland, Penn State in Happy Valley. Me and Justin both on the Nittany Lions, minus 1.5. Take him over Maryland. And then the last game, Maryland, Indiana. Me and Justin are both on the Hoosiers, minus 3.5. Hoosier Daddy. It's back.
Yes,
Better
sir.
than ever. Hopefully, Indiana comes through for me. I need a bounce back, and I will be bouncing back. 3-0 in college hoops this weekend. You can bet on it. And then in the NBA, Suns, Mavs. Me and Justin both on the Suns plus 1. Take KD. Game 2, Pacers, Bulls. Bulls minus 7.5. Me and Justin both like the Bulls. And then in the last one, Warriors, Lakers. Lakers plus 5. I'm on the Lakers. Justin is on the Warriors.
We're both against each other once in each of them.
Yes. So
Hopefully there's a lot of positivity.
hopefully
right
there's
here.
some positivity.
Maybe we'll both go 3-3.
Oh, I need more than that. I need to go 6-0. I need to go 6-0.
That couldn't happen though. We couldn't both go 3-3.
No. Well, we could. No. Maybe.
No,
No,
because
we
we both
couldn't.
go 4, and then the bet 5-1.
Well, maybe the Suns lose by 1.
Oh yeah, you
We
never know.
get the draw. We get a push.
We get
Or
a
maybe the
draw.
Lakers too. Maybe the Lakers lose by 5.
To get a draw.
We get a push.
We just
you
get
know,
all these
a couple
draws,
pushes, yeah.
man. What is that?
But there you have it. Episode 21, Squeeze the Juice.
Wow.
College basketball, NBA.
21.
I'm telling you, man, I need football back. I need football back for betting purposes. It's been ugly. It's been UGLY, but hopefully I
Shout out
turn around
Tigers.
this week. All black, hitting bombs. That's what we're going to be doing this week. Hitting bombs. We are getting it right. We are getting it right. Full confidence. Clear eyes, full hearts. Can't lose. Squeeze the Juice, episode 21. Justin?
As always, follow Instagram, follow Twitter, follow TikTok. We are rebooting, reviving it all. I got some other thoughts and plans I'm working on. If you are watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, hit the like button, give us some comments, thoughts, concerns, picks. We love it all. We know it all. I can't believe it's already episode 21. Yes, I want football back too. Good news is we are just about a month or so away from the draft.
That is true.
And that discussion will be rising soon. Then the off season, free agency,
Woo!
lots to chatter about.
Lots to chatter about. Lots to chatter about indeed.
As always, thank you guys for everything, and we will see you next time on Squeeze the Juice.
Peace.